Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this, a brand new day. When I move my mouse down into the notification tray of my Windows 10 install, I have hamster bedding on my shirt. Not only that, I have a hamster. But it is 7:04 a.m. on Wednesday, the 28th of February, last day of the month. This is little Charvy. His anti-camera gyroscope is very active. He's not going to face the camera to save his life. I'm not quite sure why they don't face that direction. But they don't. They face me. And I don't know if it's the angle or what, but they like to face this direction and not that way. But here's little Charvy. He's a good little guy. He's an absolute little sweetheart. He's a good little guy. Come on, guy. I need you to go up here so that you're easier to see. Yeah, he wants to go back to bed, and I don't blame him. Whoops, I hit my microphone. Here, I'm going to move this. There. He was in his little nest. He was eating. He was just eating some food. So now I'm putting him back in his nest, and I'm covering him back up. There. I interrupted the poor guy. But now he's back in his home. He's going to, I covered him up, and now he's staying covered up, and so he's just cleaning himself because skin oils. And so he's going to clean himself, and then he's going to start eating again. Now, to make sure I'm centered, I have very little control over my life. That's the one thing that I can do. I try to do it beforehand, but, I have to make sure. Thumbs up for that. Not a ton has happened since yesterday. I've done some thinking about a whole bunch of stuff. One of the things I have thought about when out walking is these conspiracy theorists and how they act, which is horrible, because there's all those poor kids that have survived massacres, from school shootings, and now they're getting death threats from conspiracy theorists because, you should be ashamed of yourself. You're an actor. How can you do this? It's like, I can understand after reading several articles about conspiracy theorists, I can understand why they cling to fantasy like that. Yep, it's a big thing about this, because life is scary. Life is scary, and we have very little control over it. I take what little control I have like this, and I'm happy with that, because I don't have much control over my life. And if you just look at how random life is, you could be hit and killed by a bus just by walking outside. You don't even have to walk outside. Some people are hit and killed when cars come crashing into their houses. Life is scary and random, and you can point to wild and improbable chains of events that lead to deadly results. One minor thing that happened, just as an example of that, as I was reading in an article 70 years ago in World War II, somebody fired a grenade at a tree. The grenade did not go off, but it stuck to the tree. The tree grew around it. 70 years later, over in Europe, this one woman had put a whole bunch of wood inside of her fireplace and left. There was a huge explosion. When they came and examined it, that grenade from 70 years earlier that had been fired during the war, absorbed by a tree, later cut down for firewood, and she put it into her wood stove, and bam! After 70 years, the grenade blew up. Life is random and weird, and we have very little control over everything that happens in our lives. Conspiracy theorists, unfortunately, have a lot of fear. And the way to achieve some form of control over that fear is to see what is actually happening. Because if you can see what's happening behind the scenes, then it's not random. It's not just random, scary life. It's something that's out there that's in control, and you can fight it. And that's your control. So life is not as scary for you. The problem with that is our brains are pattern seekers. Excellent pattern seekers. They've had to be excellent pattern seekers. For us to survive, to become the dominant species on the planet, we had to be excellent at pattern recognition, seeing a face in the darkness. lets you know that there's a thing out there that wants to make you into dinner. And then you can work around that plan, and suddenly you're not dinner anymore, and maybe you're having dinner of that thing that wanted to get you. Pattern recognition, pattern seeking. Our brains are beautiful at that. The problem is our brains are so good at seeing patterns. We see patterns where there are none. When you're just getting noise, you can find order in chaos. You can find what appears to be signal. By fixating on that, you can find order in chaos. You can find signal in the noise. But it's not real signal. You're connecting dots and patterns that aren't really there. You're seeing the patterns. You're seeing these things, but you're seeing false patterns. And it's sad because of that. Yes, life is scary. Life is terrifying. You don't know if 5 minutes from now you're even going to be alive. Our bodies fail at frightening rates, and people that we know that are in perfect health suddenly keel over dead. Life is terrifying. And then with our government systems and the way that we work with each other, yeah, there's a lot of noise. And we're really good at finding signal inside of that noise. Yes, maybe about 1% of the time inside of the noise there is actual signal. But of that 1% of the time, that signal is usually such complete nonsense that it's indistinguishable from the noise. Ain't real signal. It's way outliers out there. People that have lost their way back to the center where the rest of us are. Life is scary. It's terrifying. But you have to live with that. I mean, finding fake signal in the noise may make you feel safer, but you're not. And that's what's scarier too. Because you may feel safe, but you're not, because you're finding random signals in random noise and working around that. And you're getting further and further away from how people in reality work. Thumbs up? I mean, life is difficult. I understand that. But really, when you start finding signal in the noise and then start sending death threats to people that have survived massacres because only you see the actual thing that's happening behind the scenes, or you and your 10 friends know that these people are just crisis actors. It's like, no, you're in a sound bubble. You're in an echo chamber where all you're hearing is your own thoughts echoing off each other. And that is most dangerous. Goodness gracious, merciful sakes alive. Our brains are wonderful, wonderful things, but boy, they can go wrong so quickly, so easily. I mean, I got my own issues with depression, and I fight against paranoia and all that. I've got my issues, but I understand that I'm just one tiny cog in a universe that does not give a damn about this part of the machine that we're in. Which is, yeah, that's scary, especially when you take a look at the size of the universe. I mean, when the Hubble telescope focused on one small portion of the sky that nobody could even see anything in. It was just pitch black, and it looked up there, really looked, and we saw tens of billions, if not billions upon billions of galaxies and a huge universe that we never even knew was out there until that time. The universe is huge and impersonal and doesn't care. And we're just one tiny rock circling a great big ball of fire, hurtling through space inside of a universe that, well, based upon what we can see of the rest of the universe, would much prefer not having any life in it at all. So yeah, it's terrifying. But it's also a beautiful and wonderful world. You can't just cower in fear. You can't just cower. You can't just try to find signal inside of the noise and then cling to it wildly and with abandon because it's the only thing that makes you feel better. Yes, it may make you feel better, but it's not reality. You gotta accept reality, scary though it is. Because it's scary. Yeah, you could fall over dead. You could be hit by a bus. You could be hit by an airplane. You could drown. People drown in bathtubs. People get killed in their bathtubs. One of the most dangerous rooms in your household. The bedroom and the bathroom. People die in those places all the time. We gotta be careful. But it's a beautiful, beautiful world with all sorts of beautiful, wonderful things in it. I mean, even though I end up feeling empty and hollow inside, like the universe is nothing but an empty shell, and I just need to go and fall asleep until entropy has run out and the universe is gone. But I realize that's just my depression. And it's not the way the real world is. And so I know, terrible a feeling though it is, and hard as it is to wait out, that even on my worst days, even as bad as it may be, as long as I realize that I've got bad thinking and to not make decisions, to just wait it out because it will get better. Things don't always get better, I have to say. I'm not going to give out false hope. You may be wrapped in chains in a shed out somewhere in a jungle while some guy in a hockey mask is busy heating up a machete over a fire, and he's looking at you and you know what's going to happen. So the world is not always wonderful and beautiful. You may be lying with 2 broken legs at the bottom of a pit while a jaguar creeps up upon you with hunger in its eyes. You may be desperate in your bedroom, hearing sounds of people breaking into your house downstairs. It's not always going to be beautiful. It's not always going to be wonderful. You're not always going to escape it unscathed or alive. But you gotta find, ow, my neck just snapped right at the base of my skull, ow. It may not always be beautiful and wonderful, but it's the only life we have. So you gotta do your best to, I am having horrible lag spikes. I can only hope that it's going to record okay, because there it's just still shot after still shot after still shot as I'm recording this, so yay. But it's still scary and terrifying and frightening and deadly as life is. Well, it's the only one we got, for one. A huge lag spike is the only one we got, for one, so you can't just live in terror. That's why I push right now. That's why I'm going to therapy. That's why I go on walks, not just for physical exercise, but to get myself out where people are. I mean, I've got social anxieties right now where even though I'm desperately lonely and want to be around people, I am also so tight with social anxieties right now. I don't like going outside and being around people. But I push to be around people, to go out on walks, to say hello to people. I stop in at stores and I talk to the cashiers behind the counters just to say hi. Just because cowering in fear is not good. You have to push. Life is such that you have to push. You can't just sit and wait. You always have to push the envelope. If you don't push, you're just stagnating. And in our life, in this world, stagnation leads to death. You have to push. That's why I don't give up on things. That's why when this hand was paralyzed and they told me to just wear a brace, I didn't. I kept pushing, and now I can use this thing just almost fine. It's about 5% deficit, but it's a lot better. I still have to stretch it because it still wants to contract because of that deficit, but I kept pushing. I never quit. If I had, it might still be paralyzed. So you can't just cower in fear. You can't just look for signal inside of the noise. You can't just cling to fantasy. Life is scary. Life is dangerous. Life is deadly. None of us are going to get out of this one. We're all going to die. Every single one of us. There's not a thing on this planet. Well, there are actually some like jellyfish well, not jellyfish, but bacteria and such that reproduce asexually, that just split. Those ones have been around since forever. Literally. They may be a new one, but their parent and such is literally one of those all the way back. So those things are kind of immortal, but everything else dies. So enjoy yourself. You have to enjoy yourself. Otherwise, you're just going to cower in fear and still die. So don't cling to fantasy. Grab reality by the neck and ride it until it can't be ridden anymore. Now I'm going to thank 20 to 25 people for having left me a comment. I'm not reading the comments right now. I'm going to read the comments afterward. Thumbs up every one I read. Answer as many as I can. If I mispronounce your username, my sincere apologies. I'm an American English speaker. We're not really good at that. And I think that's about it. So I'm just going to go through and do 20 to 25. So we've got, now it's Tyrone Borg. I sure hope I'm close. Thank you very, very much. And Debbie Zapata. I sure hope I'm close. Thank you. Joshua Pokai. Thank you very, very much. And Thomas S. Greatly appreciated. Tundra Keeper. Yay! Good to see you in the comments every single day. Thank you very, very much. Gabriel Lopez. Thank you. Ivan Sabitsky. I sure hope I'm close. Thank you very, very much. Gaming with Purge Anarchy. Thank you very much. It's getting to be good to see you in the comments every day. Thank you. And then Team Choi. Thank you very, very much. Jack Taylor. Thank you. Greatly appreciated. A Row of Light. Son of a gun. Heck of a name, too. Fourth. 4 and then TH. Alex Kim, greatly appreciated. CJ Falcon, thank you very, very much. Russell Ashmore, thank you very, very much. And then there's Movies for Life was asked for a shout out, just to make sure that I do that one in case I miss Movies for Life. Thank you very, very much. And Raymond Deal, greatly appreciated. Sky Cloud, thank you very, very much. And then there is Glassbow, That Beast, though. Is that one name? Glassbow, That Beast, though. Son of a gun. Thank you very, very much. El Duderino, thank you very much. Take_away, thank you. Greatly appreciated. NorCal, thumbs up and thank you. Nearly XP, thank you very, very much. And then last but not least, we have Palantir. Thank you very, very much. Every single one of you. As stated, you get me out of my head, into the real world, dealing with real people. Thank you very, very much. Whether it's a good comment, bad comment, indifferent comment, you took the time to leave me a comment. Thank you very, very much. If you could check out my links down below, I've got Twitter, Facebook, GoFundMe, Patreon.com, Google+. If you could donate to my GoFundMe campaign or become a Patreon.com patron like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. However, if you cannot donate or you simply do not donate, I do take all good wishes. I deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest, so thank you very, very much. I'm also partnered with Humble Bundle. If you could check out the link down below, you head on over there. If you buy any bundles or just stuff out of the store using that link, you actually kick some money back my way. I use Humble Bundle all the time. Yes, it was kind of scary when they got sold to IGN, but they seem to still be independent and good. So when you buy something from them, they do donate to charity. You can figure out how much you want to spend on charity and how much you want to send to the devs, etc. You can, even if you use the link down below, decide how much you want to send in my direction. I do this all extemporaneously off the top of my head. I don't write a script. I'm a terrible salesman. So if you went down there and bought stuff, that'd be awesome. I go there all the time. I buy bundles and stuff out of the store whenever I get paid from YouTube. So I use the service. It's a good thing. Thumbs up for that. So if you could go if you could go there, buy stuff, that'd be awesome. But of course, if you don't want to, why would you? So don't if you don't want to, but if you do, hey, it's awesome. And if you could toss me a like, I do appreciate all the positive validation I get for my existence. And if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be very, very cool. But I would understand if you don't want to. My personality has rubbed people wrong my entire life. So if you don't like the channel, don't want to subscribe, I do understand. But if you are down with it, I will do my best to keep you entertained from now until the literal end of my time anyway. 19 summers from now, I'll be 74. Hopefully I'll live to 100. Hopefully I'll live to 60. I'm 55 now. Thumbs up for that. I have a reaction video coming up. Got a game video coming up. So you take care. Have a great day today. Hopefully I've got a game video for my game channel. That'd be nice too, wouldn't it? So take care. Have a great day. I will see you on the flip side. And that, my friend, is a very, very good thing. Oh my gosh, my throat.